Hello everyone, Shuditya here. I'm back once again with a fresh new video. And this time I'm going to talk about something that is sort of concerning a lot of like students, people who are maybe have just given their 12th standard exams or are almost towards the finishing end of their graduation, undergraduation. So, so the video is about them and basically to help them plan their career ahead, right? In this age of AI and Gen AI, which is automating so many things, sort of disrupting the industries at large across the world, and so many other changes as well that are rapidly emerging as we are moving on with it. So, the first thing I would say to all those who have just given their 12th standard exam and to those who are towards the finishing end of their undergraduate is that relax. I know you guys must be thinking a lot hearing about all these changes um, that are caused by this Gen AI wave, which is sort of uh, transforming the very way or like early career professionals or fresh undergraduates used to get jobs earlier. That entire scene has changed now. So I'm sure that many of you might be worried and feeling that what is the best path forward for you all. So let me first of all assure you that no need to worry. I have been in such kind of a position myself much earlier, although it was not in the like in the field of Gen AI or anything like in this context, but it definitely happened with me as well. It was a career choice, but I do understand that in today's day and age, this problem is probably even more aggravated than it was at my time. But I'll try to help you through my experience and my acquired learnings over all these years to help you solve this problem. So the first thing I want to tell you guys is that um, now, I mean, regardless of whether you choose to be an academic professional, like go towards professorship, that kind of pure academia line, or choose to join industry, um, the basic requirement still stays the same, and that requirement is to be thorough in something. Meaning that, let's say you choose a tech profession, you want to choose a tech profession, right? You don't want to be a professor or an academic expert, you want to choose a tech profession. So now it's very important that you have an innate love for tech. This was not the case earlier when this entire Gen AI wave had not disrupted so much. The reason was that earlier what used to happen was that people uh, typically didn't give it a lot of thought that, okay, what we will do after we pass our 12th standard exam. I mean, various ideas used to float around. That's what I saw at my time when I had given my 12th standard. Like there were like majorly two things that were popular. One was medical, being a doctor, or being an engineer. The engineering and the medical career paths. These were the only two paths that were known at that time. And uh, some people used to choose the medical path, the others used to choose the engineering path. That was pretty much it. And when they were choosing a certain path, they were absolutely no idea whether they are going to love that path or not. And at that time, it used to work because the requirements at that time from the industries, from the companies, in terms of their various job roles, were very different. So at that time, if somebody fresh off the college after just completing the BTech or some other bachelor's degree used to apply for a job, the requirement there from companies was that, okay, if it is a, let's say if it was a tech job, a software developer kind of job, the basic requirement was that, okay, do you at least understand something in computer science? And that did not be like a very like core concept or something. It just used to be, okay, can you write a very simple line of code or something, right? And whatever used to be learned on the job after they had joined, because the requirement was very minimal from freshers, right? And so people used to get jobs, they used to acquire those skills and experience in core computer science concepts and software engineering while on the job itself, right? Although I must say that at that, like in this kind of a paradigm, um, some like majority of the people used to get skilled in sort of writing code, but not writing really efficient production quality code that would not break anything but also achieve the efficiency at minimal cost to the company, right? They used to learn to just write code and build softwares with it, and there was demand for it across the world, across companies. And that's why they used to get hired in entry level jobs. I mean, companies used to pay them money because that's what they wanted them to do, like write basic softwares, deploy them to production. There were lots of unknown things for the companies, right? And they were happy like that, like, right? But now the problem is that companies have realized that we have softwares now that can write code, and not just entry level code that is buggy and that is not of production grade quality. Actual production grade quality code can now be written automatically with prompting. And that has led companies believe that we don't need entry level freshers anymore to fill up those roles, and those entire roles are getting eliminated. And it's a very natural consequence, right, of what has happened now with this Gen AI advancement in terms of this automated coding assistants. So what's the path forward here for you guys who are, let's say, trying to get into the job scene, if it is the job scene, right? So the path forward here, in my understanding, is this: that you need to develop true love and passion for what you will be pursuing in your career path. If it is technology, you need to develop a true love and passion for it. And if you don't have that, then I would say that it is not going to work. I know it's a very uh, weird advice, and many people will probably criticize it, but that is just the reality. It used to work earlier because the requirements were minimal from the companies. Right now, companies are expecting like true experienced software architect, AI architect level deliverables with this coding assistants. And they know they can get that from experienced developers, so they don't need freshers at all, right? So just think about it. So if you don't have love for tech and are just doing it like because you have to do, because you have to earn money, it just won't work. So rather, if you don't love tech but want to get into the job scene, a more pragmatic approach would be trying to open your own startup if you are towards the end of your graduation, right? So try to open your own startup. Even if it fails, nothing to worry. You will get huge experience, and not bookish experience, but real world experience in terms of implementing something in reality and learning from it. Learning from the things that worked well, learning from the things that didn't work well, and that will definitely set you up for your future career path. That's for sure. So if you don't have a genuine love for the tech field, for the AI field, AI and this entire thing, you should better choose that path, that open a startup, pick an idea that you love, that you think that okay will make an impact. Even if you don't love it, it's fine. Just pick an idea that you know will create immense business impact in some industry. And as I had said in my previous video, the best way to do it is to ask a generative AI tool that okay, what are the top problem statements in this industry? If it is e-commerce, it could be, let's say, search and personalization. It could be, if it is ad tech, it could be like, let's say, how to deal with like bot fraud, like automated bot fraud that lets advertisers wrongly pay for clicks that are actually not even real. They're just driven by automated bots, right? So That is the easiest way. Figure out some problem statements that are still plaguing companies work operating in different industries, and try forming a startup based on that, proposing a solution for that problem or a series of such problems in that specific industry. And if you can rightly crack the demand supply gap in that specific industry, you can actually do it. Even if that startup fails, you will at least learn a lot of things from it, right? So not to worry. So for people who don't have a genuine love for tech, I would propose that path for them. Now for the people who have a genuine love for tech, right? Uh, for them, I would say that you you have two ways in my understanding. One way is something that you should choose if you absolutely need to earn money right after you graduate. I mean, right after you finish your undergraduate. Then, and in fact, if you really have to do that in this day and age, it is incredibly difficult, immensely difficult, because as I was just saying, I mean, companies are just not opening those entry level roles. They have sort of, eliminated those roles altogether. Maybe not in all companies, but in a large major chunk of them. So it will be very hard for you to find jobs in that space, right? So my point is that if you can hold it off, it's good. But if you absolutely have to earn money right after completing your undergraduate, I would say just try opening a startup. Like the first, um, you know, segment of folks who don't love tech, but can open a business. So you can follow the same path, right? If you basically absolutely have to earn money right after completing your undergraduate. But if you can give yourself time towards that, okay, if it is like this, okay, I don't need to start earning money right away after finishing my undergraduate, whatever undergraduate degree that is, whether BTech or BSc, whatever that is, you can go for a master's and even further your career from there. And I can say from my own personal experience that uh, I have been on that path, and that only worked for me because I genuinely loved AI and technology from very early on. I had a love for statistics and AI. I had a love for programming and computer science. So that helped me sort of, evolve myself over this prolonged academic career path that I've had in the before I joined my professional career, right? So that's what I would say, that if you give yourself more time, you will definitely evolve like I did. And I know now that how much that hard earned knowledge and those hard earned learnings and experience from my master's days, from my PhD days, from my postdoc days are helping me now to sort of understand and become so much effective in this evolving Gen AI, agentic AI, and overarching AI space. Because I mean, I'll give you an example. So let's say uh, transformers, right? Majority of the people who use ChatGPT, who want to get on board with this entire Gen AI trend, they lack the basic understanding of transformers. They lack the understanding that it works on a fundamental concept called self-attention. And self-attention, more fundamentally, is basically it is basically a direct application of something that I learned in non-parametric statistical theory back in my academia days. I mean, back in my master's days and PhD days. And it is called kernel regression, which is a non-parametric approach of predicting response variable from a set of features. And I can see that, okay, this is what attention actually is. It is nothing but kernel regression, but a learnable, parameterizable kernel regression, where these parameters can be, uh, you know, computed by a certain optimization framework, like gradient descent with certain kind of optimizer, like let's say our ADAM or something like like that. So it's very easy to me because I give myself so much of time after I completed my undergraduate, my BSc degree from Presidency College. I give myself time through masters, through PhD, and even increasing further to postdoc. So it has definitely opened my mind so much, given me so much of fundamental core conceptual knowledge on statistics, on AI, on tech, computer science, that it has become very easy for me now to grasp things, grasp completely new things that are that I sort of maybe have never done. So let's say, as I was explaining in one of my previous videos, that I never used to be a software engineer. I I was a core statistician, like a pure statistician. But now I am basically rewriting ScyllaDB in Rust, which is like a top level software engineering challenge, which even the most highly experienced software developers would probably even dare to tackle. So I'm solving that problem now and solving it very well, being a pure statistician, and that has only been possible because I have given myself so much of time after completing my undergraduation. And by God's grace, my parents always had supported me in that journey. They made sure that there are no financial commitments from that side, uh, like from anywhere where so that I need to leave my higher education and join a job right away. So that definitely helped, but it does help. But I do understand not everybody perhaps can afford that. So if that's the case, the thing is that you should, in this day and age, you should better start planning about opening your own startup. And you can start off that planning like right from the time you sort of join your bachelor's degree program. And if you are already towards the end of it, then it's already chosen, so you can't do much about it. But at least you can now you can plan and sort of move into that startup journey, and you will learn there, because a startup world is something that gives you so much real world experience. That is a whole different kind of experience, which I would say in a way it sort of maybe equals foundational academic knowledge acquired through masters, PhDs, and postdocs, and all these higher education journeys, after a certain point of time. Of course, I mean, it won't happen right away, but only after a certain point of time you can get to that level of openness in your mind and your thinking, your intellect, and everything, so that you can see everything from a highly generalized perspective and propose the most effective solutions for problems across industries using them, right? So that's all for today's video. I hope I have been able to give you all like people who are towards the end of their undergraduation, or even people who are just trying to plan a move into some bachelor's program. And for them, maybe one last thing, sorry, I forgot to say, is that maybe for people who have not yet started a undergraduate degree program, what you guys can do is that, I mean, pick a graduation, like an undergraduate degree program that will sort of align you with this entire AI landscape early on, regardless of whether you have a genuine passion and love for tech or not. Doesn't matter, because if you do, it's great, you will love it. If you don't, it'll at least help you open a highly impactful startup, even if it is not successful. So that's all from my side, everyone. So see you again in my next video. Thank you. Bye.